Right. I think I've shared the right screen because I've lost the presentation view, but if you're not seeing my slides, please message me. So I'm Rachel Galettis, and as Katrina and Andrew indicated, I am involved with the Australian Centre for Cannabinoid Clinical and Research Excellence, and I'm the Clinical Trial Manager of the CARE New South Wales trial. So ACRE is funded through the National Health and Medical Research Council's Centre of Research Excellence scheme. It's a partnership between over 10 Australian universities and other research institutions and designed to generate the evidence base and clinical guidance through world-class research, such as that you've seen Katrina just present. Other ways ACRE is involved is in the development of the future capacity of research. It has a community of practice which involves the postdoctoral fellows, the PhD students and the early career researchers who regularly meet to engage with each other and receive mentorship and support from the experienced ACRE investigators. Another way ACRE has supported the knowledge base for cannabis medicines in Australia is through the publication of prescribing guidances in 2019. These documents are currently undergoing revision, and the 6 prescribing guidances indicated on the screen will be updated shortly. And additionally, on July the 1st, NPS, the National Prescribing Service, published fact sheets and prescribing guidances around the use of cannabis medicines, and this was done in association with ACRE. Additionally, there is a productive pharmacokinetic laboratory which has developed validated methods for analysis of plant material and patient samples. They've investigated the storage and transport of patient samples and the stability of plant material and cannabis medicine oil oils. They also have a collaboration with New South Wales Health Pathology, and they are currently undergoing NADA accreditation so that they can manage a clinical cannabinoid blood analysis program in New South Wales. Their current available assays include both a plasma THC and CBD, and they can perform cannabinoid profiles across 17 cannabinoids. Now, after that brief introduction to ACRE, what I'm really excited to share with you is the CARE New South Wales trial, which I've been working on for the last 2 years. Cannabinoids for symptom control in advanced cancer, an open label prospective trial in New South Wales. So CARE was designed on the invitation of New South Wales Health and funded through the New South Wales Health Clinical Cannabis Medicines Program. It's a collaboration of 14 expert investigators and designed to produce quality evidence to guide the safe use of cannabis medicines in the advanced cancer population. And it's led by Professor Jenny Martin, who's a clinical pharmacologist and general physician based in Newcastle. So what was CARE's aim? While cannabis medicines are currently prescribed to the advanced cancer population in New South Wales, under the authority to prescribe in special access schemes, the data to record the efficacy, safety, and guide the further dosing in the advanced cancer population who frequently have compromised metabolisms and are on multiple polypharma is not routinely available. And this was certainly the case in late 2017, early 2018, when the study was first conceived. So to address this gap, the CARE New South Wales study was designed in the hope that the data collected through the clinical measures, patient-reported outcomes, safety reporting, and pharmacokinetic sampling will build that strong narrative of irrefutable evidence to guide the use and regulation of cannabis medicines. And additionally, CARE New South Wales facilitates the conditional free access to legal prescribed cannabis medicines for up to 600 patients across the state. So the trial design. As I said, CARE New South Wales hopes to recruit up to 600 participants. It will be open over the next 3 years for advanced cancer patients experiencing symptoms that are not responsive to the current therapies. It provides the long-term access to the product until such a time as the patient withdraws or is withdrawn due to toxicity or their death. The CARE New South Wales trial will be conducted in 10 cancer care and palliative care centres across the state, and the protocol does include a proposal for a second stage rollout through teletrials. And it's really critical to note that Care New South Wales was approved as a New South Wales Cancer Institute Portfolio Level 3, which isn't an easy achievement for any trial to get. This approval critically allows participants enrolled in Care New South Wales to access support for travel and accommodation through the Cancer Clinical Trials Financial Assistance Program, the pilot, which will really assist those patients living regionally and remotely. So, as I know we're not all scientists on this call, to break it down, the core basics for Care New South Wales was to describe the effect of cannabis medicines on the 3 index symptoms experienced by advanced cancer patients and what side effects occur, to understand what the dose should be used for the symptom control in these patients through blood tests or pharmacokinetic measures, and providing compassionate long-term access to these patients. And this is reflected by the formal primary objectives of the trial. Additionally, there's several secondary objectives surrounding the pharmacokinetic model, as well as changes in the use of concomitant medications used for breakthrough pain or nausea, and the use of any illicit product, as well as the general usage costs, so the health economics and the cost effectiveness of the cannabis medicines. The eligibility criteria are both broad, and that the non-compliance due to the declining health of advanced cancer patients is accepted and was acknowledged in the trial design. It's really important to note that a key feature of the trial design is that participants can continue on their current therapy, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and whatever other medications they take as usual. And a uniqueness of care is that the prior use of illicit or legal medicinal cannabis is not an exclusion to the trial. Participants for care may have previously used illicit products, been prescribed cannabis medicine privately, or previously participated in another clinical trial of cannabis medicines. As a brief overview of the trial, the patients are referred and they're registered to the trial if they consent and are found eligible. At their registration appointment, the investigational product is selected. The formulations included in care are determined by the primary index symptom, and it's predominantly a THC compound or THC CBD in near equivalent amounts. Once the formulation is selected, the individual product can be prescribed from a range of open label products included. All open label products included in Care New South Wales meet TGO 93 and may currently be prescribed through the SASB access pathway, should a patient withdraw from the trial and still wish to access their medicine because they're receiving benefit. After about 3 days to allow for delivery of product to the site, the patient will attend their first dose visit, where they'll receive their first dose and have several blood samples taken over several hours to form that first dose pharmacokinetic profile. Over the next several weeks and months, they'll attend follow-up until the end of treatment, withdrawal or trial closure. Should the patient have toxicity, side effects, or not be receiving benefit, there is the opportunity to change the investigational formulation. And of course, at the end of the trial, the data will be analysed. Now, care includes a dosage guidance in the protocol. The current national and state guidance and existing process, of course, is to start low, go slow, and titrate upwards to reach that individualised dose where symptom control will occur with tolerable side effects. However, this is a guidance only, and then dose and titration within care are really up to the prescribing investigator. We're collecting the data in this observational study to see what happens in the real world. And daily doses are recorded by the participant in their patient diary, and that will really capture how the real life profile occurs in the community. So care suggests that an initial starting dose for a patient on the trial would be 2.5 mg THC equivalent 3 times a day. And if the participant was an experienced cannabis user, then it may start at 5 mg of THC per dose per day. The maximum tolerated dose for care is set in line with the TGA guidance, so no participant will be prescribed more than 30 mg of THC per day. However, that they may be able to go up to 40 mgs in line with the current Queensland guidance, but this will be on a case-by-case basis. We have several internationally validated patient-reported outcomes included in the trial, which give access to large comparison data sets in the advanced cancer population. All reported outcomes are collected on an iPad, and for times like COVID, they're available to be emailed directly to the patient to be completed in their home. The Care New South Wales Patient Diary is an online application that's downloaded to the smartphone. The patient diary is completed daily for the first 6 weeks and then changes to once a week until the product's ceased. The diary consists of 3 sections. The symptom assessment scale, which is a large quality of life questionnaire. It has a comparison population in Australia of about 250,000, as it's currently used by a number of palliative care clinicians across Australia to monitor their patients. It also includes medicinal cannabis tracker, where patients record their prescribed cannabis medicine doses and also any illicit product they may have used, and a breakthrough medication tracker, so we can see if it's reducing the amount of pain and nausea medication the participants may be using. Safety reporting is in line with the 2016 NHMRC safety monitoring guidance. AEs are collected at every formal follow-up, and the side effects targeted are the 15 known common side effects reported by the TGA, and serious adverse events are of course collected and reported to the TGA as they occur. So where are we up to? Well, Care opened finally in February in Orange, and we've recruited 4 participants there. Unfortunately, due to COVID, delays were experienced across the space, but we have last month opened 3 additional sites at the end of June in Chris O'Brien Lifehouse, Liverpool and Tamworth Hospital. And we're currently engaged with several other sites, and we hope to open 4 more sites in the next month and potentially expand further along the coast. We do acknowledge that there's a significant area in New South Wales that we are unlikely to open a site in due to the current infrastructure of the area. But it's really hoped that through the potential tele trial and access to the pilot program to support travel and accommodation, that interested participants in these areas will still access care. So in summary, Care will enable New South Wales to guide the safe use of cannabis medicines for symptom control. It will enable the provision of legal access to a pharmaceutical grade product and enable the timely translation into clinical practice through strengthening the evidence base for cannabis medicines in the advanced cancer population. But why do we care? Well, we care because we know that for every clinical trial, every data point is a real person. There's a real need to improve the quality of life of advanced cancer patients. And while each of our participants have lived unique lives, whether they're born, grow up, begin work, get married, and have families, they all share the same limited life expectancy and the lack of symptom control. This was my father. He died 16 years ago, and his last 8 months were spent in pain and unable to tolerate the sight, smell, or taste of food. I personally know how important Care New South Wales whole is in offering hope to the advanced cancer population for possible symptom management in the last few months of their life. I also know it's a very solid clinical trial platform designed to collect the evidence necessary to guide the quality future use of cannabis medicines in this specific population. So where do you go for more information? Well, we're listed on the Australian and New Zealand Clinical Trials Registry. We're also on the ACRE website and the New South Wales Ministry of Health. Additionally, our sites are listed on the Clinical Trials Refer app, and we hope, if approved by ethics, we will have an online participant EOI registration where we can direct participants or potential participants to the most appropriate site near them. You're also welcome to contact me directly by phone or email. Thank you.